Chickened out a little bit. We lost a charger, one cable, couple of pens, gloves, and my long sleeve top, and my lid for my flask. We'll keep my flask until we try the Meseta, because the Meseta we end up the whole days when we don't see a cafe or a village running. So maybe I might enjoy coffee. So if I don't use it on the first day of the Meseta, then the storks coming back. They usually start doing a dance. It's kind of cool timing. It's about 10 to 7, I think. Might just turn in all of the dances. It's like, oh, just asleep. Oh, I'm not ready to get up yet. Yeah, have a twig. I don't want a twig. I want to go back to bed. That's it. You can look after the kids. I'm out of it. Leaving, what's it called again? This place? Las Argos. There we go. Pretty town. Had a strange vibe. All the pilgrims drank in a central square, and then all the locals drank in another bar, which we found later on. You could see from our apartment window the storks, which was very cool. Really enjoyed that. And yeah, pizza. Well, pizza was pizza. That was a nice pizza, but nothing particularly special. Had a really interesting conversation with a guy from Singapore. He was saying not Chinese. He's well to do. He spends a lot of time in India hiking. Retired. Got daughters in university in New Zealand, and sons in university in America, and he was had quite a detailed conversation, but he made it very clear that Singapore is not part of China, and actually it's pretty safe because the corrupt officials in China embezzle their money and then go and put it in the banks in Singapore because they know it's kind of safe. So actually, that means, he didn't tell me, but in my mind, that means that Singapore's pretty safe because the Chinese officials don't want Singapore to be part of China proper. Then he was a computer engineer, and we were talking about the fact that Chinese culture is to go and, steal ideas. I heard a really cool one on the book I'm reading, this National Geographic photographer watched the Great Wall first, and now it's kind of cool. And in the book I'm listening to, it's a nice yoga, talking about the Western motor companies were desperate to get into China. The market's just huge, and General Motors was the first in. That completely collapsed and got burnt on a grand scale, and there's been books written about it. And then Volkswagen was more successful, and they designed a new car for the Chinese market with a little 800cc engine, and designed it really cheap so that more people could afford to buy it. And the Chinese, bless their little cotton socks, they'll make it. So Volkswagen are going to make this car in China. It's made for the Chinese market, and yet China managed to get hold of the blueprints, build the factory, and start producing the car before Volkswagen could. And it was absolutely identical. All the components could be swapped across. And Volkswagen obviously made a big fuss about it. There was some out-of-court settlement. And Volkswagen did eventually make theirs, but theirs was, I think, about a fifth more expensive than the Chinese counterpart. And so actually Volkswagen was never successful at selling their car, and yet the car they designed is hugely successful and the most sold car in China. And this guy from Singapore said that that's absolutely the Chinese way. He said it's a jungle. He said you go to a trade fair with engineering, and all the Chinese are interested in doing is finding out what the cool designs are, stealing that concept and making it themselves cheaper. And I'm guilty of that. My first motor caravan had a German diesel heater, which was awesome, but it cost a bit shy of £1,000. You can buy an identical diesel heater now. I mean, it's absolutely identical. It's definitely not got the same manufacturing quality as the German one, but it's about 80 quid as opposed to sort of 850 for the German one, which makes them so cheap that you haven't any problems, you can replace it. But we've had ours in there for, oh god, I don't know, 3 years, and she's got a few quirks, but actually works great. So I'm fueling the Chinese success in stealing design ideas and selling them out cheaper. We hardly had any rain yesterday. Yeah, but not very much. And the path is surprisingly muddy, surprisingly slippery. It's quite a clingy sort of mud. Your foot kind of slides. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit tricky to walk on. Not great. Yeah, it is a bit, yeah. It's almost, well, it's not quite welly, but walking boots. I mean, why? There we go. So that's today's new experience. Walking along with a clod of clay stuck to your boots. Still, it's going to dry out later on. So. And Carrie's just been telling me that we're going to Rioja, and it has a red soil, which is even more clean. So this is today's little agricultural bulletin. We've got a field. This is a field of oats, which is underplanted with peas. That's a bit of a kind of a legume piece. I was trying to figure out whether it was wild oats, but actually it's not. It's there's a good crop of peas in there, and then we roll straight into a field of wheat, a typical monocrop. I reckon these olive trees are sprayed with glyphosate because there's not much growing underneath them. That's definitely, you know, it's not a case of the shade out competing for plants. Chemical sprays proliferating everywhere. I guess maybe the old-fashioned way was to till it. That'd be interesting to find out. Maybe we'll see that later on. Did see the grapevines back there where they'd tilled in between the grapevines to reduce the competition. We think this is the next town that we're going to get coffee. Should be quite nice. Today, this morning's coffee was, I think, a 6 out of 8. It really wasn't very good. On English standards it was great, but Spanish standards it was rubbish. This was lovely. Quite a nice little town, this one, isn't it? That's a cool mural. Just had a second coffee in 10 minutes because I failed to charge my phone last night. But now we've got 33%, so that's cool. I think this is a bit like a harrow, quite an impressive harrow. I think that's what they would have used instead of glyphosate to go and till underneath the the olive trees. All these almonds rather than olives. It's actually just a perfect temperature. Look at that. Proper. Long way from the Pyrenees. Well, it's a long way for walking from the Pyrenees. That's not the Pyrenees. That's most of the walk is mountainous at whole northern Spain. So even the meseta that we've got coming up that everybody kind of dreads because it's supposed to be sort of like treeless and hedgeless, and just you can see for miles and miles and miles in a dead straight line. But even that I think is about 800 meters. So it's a bit like the Central Massif in France, and then we've got another 1500 meter pass to climb, but because we start at 800 meters it doesn't feel so bad. But yeah, it's fairly flat today. Let's see how high it is. Yeah, we're at 490 meters now, and it stays fairly flat today. I mean, that's, you know, the highest tours back home at High Willhay 621. I think yes, tour 619. But most of it's about 500 meters. So we're kind of the upper end of Dartmoor ticking along. We're not quite going to make it into Rioja today. It's tomorrow to hit the wine region, apparently with the red soil oxide. You can see the path weaving up just up over there. Suddenly changed. We were on big, flat, gently rolling arable fields, and all of a sudden we've got these nice little tight little valleys and small fields. I just lost it. They had the mountains to our right, which are really impressive. Look at the olive grove here. Grapes in front of us. Look how old some of these vines are. Yeah, beauties, aren't they? They've been giving grapes to mankind for a long time. The same with those. Wow. Walked in the field. It is super sticky. And these olive trees down here they're impressive, I tell you. Beautiful. Plants of the day. Lapwick or Jerusalem sage. Ooh, another one down there. One of those. And this one has a common name of herb canary clover. Beautiful. This is a good advertisement on the Camino. This is kind of cool. Love these little surprises. We pretty much get them every day. And because they're surprises, you got no idea. An incredible view. Yeah, trying to multitask, video and walk. There are two little gems. We had the flag tree and then that really nice tiled. The knee-jerker. Okay. I had it translated as "Blessed are the pilgrims." Then it was a regional name, Bendigetta, I think, and protect the pilgrims. Don't exceed 40 kilometres an hour. I'm not even going that way. I'm going this way. Good old Camino signs. Follow the yellow arrows. Just had a nice little lunch stop. Banana, some hybridised kiwi fruit. What, that town there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember reading it, you can see it. So it's quite a long way out.
Here we go.
Could be wrong.
Let you know later.
Wrong direction.
Yeah. It said in the guidebook we dropped down into a little canyon. It was quite funny because I had a warning of the incline on the footpath. I've not seen that before. 10%. 1 in 10. That's not so bad. Nice little canyon. Very pretty. I'm listening to a book called Regenesis. It's fascinating, all about the world food systems, and how super wealthy pretty much control 99% of it. Even the season of fertilizers I knew about, but I didn't even realise the farm machinery and their food reserves, that's privately owned now, and so much so that the state doesn't actually even know how much there is in food reserves. And also, you're saying, which I didn't realise, I think the world population, I think you said, is 9.5, or expected to rise to 9.5 billion. But actually, we already produce enough food for 10.5 billion. So actually, there shouldn't be anybody starving at the moment. But of course, it does. It's just huge inequalities. Things that will be solved, I'm sure. How cool is that? So, this is the end of today. 12:30. We did 18k today. Rats. And ready for lunch, which sounds good. Weather's improving nicely. We're sitting outside the cafe. And I'm in Lagonia tomorrow, which is just over there. This is a short 5k hop. That's only part, I'm not finishing there. But tomorrow now. I don't know people on trail today. I think it's some sort of cold store. See all the events coming up. Yeah, we're just coming into tonight's stay. There's a predictable new bit of town on the outside, which doesn't look quite so exciting. I suspect the centre of town is lovely. Viana, just to stop in a moment. With big decision to have a coffee or a beer. I had 3 coffees this morning. First one was, oh dear, that was pretty gone out. 5 out of 8. Second coffee was a 5 out of 8, although it was a bit better. Third coffee was 6 out of 8. It's getting a bit better still. So maybe we need a decent coffee first. Into Viana. Looks cool. Looking nice. We're gonna have a good night. Love the stonework. It's cool. This is looking good.